So now that we've talked about the oral cavity and the digestive tract, oftentimes what's forgotten is the accessory digestive organs, such as your pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. And they are quite important, so we will need to discuss them. So when we're talking about the pancreas, it's a dual gland organ. So it has both endocrine functions and exocrine functions. So in the digestive system, we'll be talking about the exocrine component of the pancreas. So when we're talking about the pancreas, we're talking about the exocrine component. So the pancreatic acinine glands. And what it does, it secretes pancreatic juices and is responsible for the secretion of digestive enzymes such as trypsin and amylase, which is involved with the chemical breakdown of food. So here is the liver. So image A correlates to the gross anatomy of the liver, quite a large organ. And then image B is actual liver lobules displaying the portal areas and the central vein. Now, the liver has lobules in which each lobule has a canal called the central vein, and running from the central vein are little canals called sinusoids, which is the main site of blood flow regulation within the liver. And you could even see the bile canal as well in image C. So it's that green canal. Now, the lining of the sinusoids are cells that look kind of like the simple columnar, but these are actually called hepatocytes. Now, as the lobules join other lobules, you're going to have areas at each connecting point called the portal triad. Now, the portal triad consists of the bile duct, portal vein, and the hepatic artery. So hepatocytes produce bile, which gets secreted into the bile canals and then gets taken into the gallbladder where it's stored. Now, enteroendocrine cells in the bowel also stimulate bile production that helps with digestion. Now, vessels that are in the portal triad, again, there's three parts. You have the bile duct, hepatic artery, and the portal vein. So on the left-hand side is an image of a lobule. So the center point is that central vein, and then the dark points are the joining areas to other lobules, and that's where you're going to find your portal triad. So now we're going to be talking about the gallbladder. And so here's a gross anatomy of the gallbladder. So the gallbladder is actually found under the right lobe of your liver. And it's going to store and modify and concentrates bile, and it's attached to the liver. And bile is produced by hepatocytes and then flows and gets stored into the gallbladder. Now, our gallbladder lacks muscularis mucosa and submucosa. It's a really thin, layered sac, and really it's just a storage bag for bile. Many people get it removed because when it is stored and it doesn't have that much production, it actually will form stones, and quite often people will form gallstones, and when it dislodges and tries to travel through the bile duct, it causes a lot of pain due to the fact that the bile duct is very, very small, and these stones can get very large. And the largest one that I've seen personally in my professional career was a gallstone that was the size of a golf ball. So trying to fit a golf ball sized stone through a very, very tiny duct, which a bile duct is almost the same diameter of a spaghetti, it's quite difficult and it's going to cause a lot of pain. So when we're talking about the histology of gallbladder, our mucosa for the gallbladder is going to be simple columnar with microvilli but no goblet cells, because you don't really need to absorb anything. It's just being transported to. It's just a storage unit. Now this one is going to have no distinct So when we're talking about the gallbladder histology, when we're talking about the mucosa of our gallbladder, it's simple columnar with microvilli, but it has no goblet cells. Now this one with the gallbladder, because it's just a storage unit, you actually don't have a distinctively defined submucosa. It's a very, very thin sac. Now, our muscularis is just going to be a scattered bundles of smooth muscle, and this is going to have adventitia. Now, it's adventitia because it's attached to the liver. So here you won't find that mesothelium, but it actually has quite a dense connective tissue connecting that gallbladder to the liver. Whereas most of the organs that have adventitia in the digestive tract have loose ordinary connective tissue. So the dense connective tissue in the adventitia is quite unique to the gallbladder. So just as a wrap up, I would like to thank everyone for listening to this presentation. So over this presentation, we've discussed various organs that actually make up our digestive system. So in our oral cavity, we have the lip, we have teeth, we have the cheek, we have tongue, and then we talked about the digestive system, digestive tract, where it goes from the esophagus all the way down to the anus, as well as the accessory glands that are also involved to make up the digestive system. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in an email or also post in the discussion forum where everyone can also see the questions you have and which we can help each other with answering those questions. Thank you.